So we have finally arrived
We have
in Dublin,
in Dublin, Ireland. It is 9:15ish.
and the bikes came through excellently, except for all these ridiculous
Stickers.
which
That was really hard to get off.
yes, and it's loud. So yeah, it's like 70 degrees, but it's overcast, so it's
Kind of balmy.
perfect riding weather, and we're hoping to get to the city alive. And yeah, you'll see part of that in the helmet cam, and hopefully no close calls.
Our journey began. After a brief turn in the wrong direction, we found ourselves hurtling toward Dublin city centre and lands beyond. Though we were hurried through Dublin in order to reach Naas, we did stop and take in the beauty of some of the local architecture. Having overcome the obstacles of non-existent street signs, an uncharged iPhone battery, and locals who didn't know how to get to Naas save by the expressways, we escaped from the metropolis into the serene, rolling Irish countryside, with our goal of Naas just over the next horizon. Finally, arriving in Naas, we collapsed, having been awake for over 24 hours.
It's a beautiful morning, a bit cooler than yesterday.
Yes.
This is day 2, by the way.
Short trip today.
Yeah, shorter trip today. We're planning on only doing what, like 10 miles?
10 miles or so we thought. Once again thwarted by expressways, we decided to head toward Edenderry, 25 miles away. After Patrick got the first flat tire of the trip, we found some interesting sights. An abandoned building not far from the beaten path, derelict, but surrounded by natural beauty. The ruins of an ancient church, long since peppered with the graves of the honored and revered dead. And we were privileged with close encounters with Ireland's plentiful sheep, who live beside quaint thatch-roof cottages. It was also on this day we were blessed to happen upon the Canal Road. Rural and devoid of traffic, this road allowed us to enjoy the countryside. Ancient bridges, built at the same time as America's War of Independence, and horses owned by angry and unintelligible gypsies.
The Irish countryside and our makeshift campsite. We're kind of making a little campsite here, so we're kind of going to be quiet. We're kind of off of a canal road that we found, which is unpaved, which was quite serendipitous because got us away from 80 km/h traffic.
Yes.
Although we did run into some gypsies and they were kind of scary. So we're here on day 3, and we spent the night in a tent, which actually worked out pretty well. It rained even, and our tents kept us dry. It was a little hard getting dressed in our tiny tents, but yeah.
We had reached Edenderry. We admired the statues, churches, and castle ruins while awaiting the town to awaken. We then loaded up on food and supplies and once again continued our ride west. We came to Tyrell's Pass Castle, which at first looked interesting, until we found it had been turned into a chintzy restaurant. However, this was redeemed by the old-fashioned whiskey distillery, and our next stop, the town of Clara.
South and east of our next destination, Athlone, which is actually shorter distance because we went farther today. And this is our new bed and breakfast. So look at the glory. There's Patrick. Hello. And it's quite nice. They're quite nice people. They gave us a nice tea and all that good stuff.
Scrumpets.
Which was nice after the rain and the cold, and which is why we went to a bed and breakfast again, because we need to let everything dry. We'll see what the 4th day brings. We'll see if our gluteus maximi can survive.
What had looked like a straight shot to Athlone turned into quite the route of winding roads and backcountry. It was through this, though, that we happened upon our first accessible ruin, aided by our newfound Labrador friend. We searched the Manor of Belin. We are now in Athlone, which is the largest city we've been in since Dublin. We just logged into a bed and breakfast, as the closest camping was 5 miles in the wrong direction. After spending a day in the sizable city of Athlone, we once again embarked into the countryside. Having now learned how to pinpoint our position using my bike GPS and iPhone, we made record time as we sped toward Galway and the Atlantic Ocean. we only stopped at Lochria. Where we saw these two netters swim in the frigid waters, and where we camped on a kind man's pasture. The next day, we found the ruined tower of Cluneen Castle, marvelously arrayed in the golden morning light. Our first close encounter with a castle ruin.
Well, we are here in Galway. After over 300 kilometers of riding, we've made it to the other side of the country.
We checked into the bed and breakfast. It began to rain, so we decided to have some dinner.
Guinness cheese, which I've had before. Quite delicious, as usual. An elderberry cheese, which has the red marbling to it. And then a delicious smelling brie, along with crackers, grapes, and a chutney of sorts. This is William maneuvering a roundabout. It's gonna go quick! Whoa! Oh! Yeah! There you go! And back on. N17 to Northern Ireland. Where the leprechauns are taller and the women are even shorter.
In Northern Ireland, on the shores of Loch Earn, while searching for what was the Quinn family farm, we came across Tully Castle, preserved in its original ruined state by the English, of when it was attacked and taken by the Irish forces on Christmas Day in 1641. Later, we visited Enniskillen town and castle, which proudly flies the English flag. And finally, camping at an RV park off the highway. On the 8th day, we traveled far to the south, eating breakfast in Mulliganmore, a small town on a peninsula with an impressive castle on the sea cliffs. We then drove south back past Galway and into the area known as the Berlin.
She robbed them of course they were all. Then she took his broadsword instead of an oar, and paddled her to the shore, 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 and paddled her way to the shore. Me man must be crazy, me man must be mad, me man must be different despair. And love you away from a cabin so gay, and paddle your way to the shore, 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 and paddle your way to the shore. Your man went up crazy, your man went up mad, your man went up deep in despair. I know that you're sailors as well as yourself, and the maid once again on the shore, 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 on the maid once again on the shore.
Hi Mom, this is to scare you only. Now, Hannah. We are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet off of the ground, and I'm on the edge of the cliff.
We are now on the Ring of Kerry. After having 2 rest days, which were very nice from riding, we're now going to be doing some off-roading up through here. Some wonderful Dunlow, the Gap of Dunlow. And so we're going to see how far we get and how hard we can ride.
This shaky bumpiness is William maneuvering like mad a extremely one-lane road that allows two-way traffic. As you can see, we are on the edge of a precipice where there are giant mountains in the distance.
May I add, including a big rig and a motorhome?
There was a big rig and a motorhome. We came across both of them. The motorhome we actually had to get off of the road, and we scraped, I think, the frame of the car on the ground.
Hopefully just the rims.
Hopefully just the rims. Sheep were on this road earlier. There are blind turns everywhere.
Everywhere.
We are getting off this road as quickly as possible. As gorgeous as this beautiful scenery is, I mean, it is just lush and amazing, and it's rainy, and it's very Ireland. It's also very frustrating.
And frightening.
And frightening. And William? This is William freaking out. Ah! See?
This is where we're camping. We're camping in the car up in this on this lovely mountain somewhere north of Cork. And it's not quite as high as the ones in the Ring of Kerry, but it's beautiful other than the large deforested area.
Day 11 found us in Cashel. Here we explored the very unfortunately named Hoare Abbey, which, though long abandoned, is still in remarkable condition. And no visit to Cashel would be complete without going to the Rock of Cashel. This mighty fortress, built upon solid rock, is still imposing, even in its ruined state. As we headed back toward Dublin, we scanned the horizon for one last abandoned, forgotten castle, and we found one outside Ulster Ford. We also took the opportunity to visit Kildare, which we had passed by when we were on bikes, and found a medieval tower which had been maintained through the centuries. Just outside of Dublin, we were shocked to find a campground, and a campground with ample amounts of rabbits. We were confused as to why there was a campground here and why there were so many rabbits, until we discovered the massive 740-acre park on the other side of the hedgerow.